what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy.
There are a lot of key pieces coming back, especially offensively. But before anything, I want to acknowledge that both of the coordinators are back. It's the first time since 2019 when LSU brought back Dave Aranda, Steve Ensminger, that the Tigers are returning both coordinators. And I think that continuity is really important, especially when you have a quarterback returning as well in Jaden Daniels. So I think they both did really good last season, Matt House and Mike Denbrock. Honestly, going in, I was more confident about the Matt House hire. When I heard Denbrock kind of describe his philosophy, I thought maybe it would be, and I know he came from Cincinnati. They put up a lot of points, but I thought it might be a little bit vanilla just based on how he described how he wanted to do things. But they, made Jaden Daniels a starter. I thought that was the correct decision. And LSU's offense played as well as it could have last season, especially when you consider, not only a new quarterback, but two freshman tackles. And we'll get into Campbell and Jones in a little bit, but given the personnel that you would think is going to be significantly better going forward, the coordinators did a lot from the onset here at LSU. And when it comes to Matt House, I was telling you, Taylor, during the break, my biggest concern is one day soon, maybe he tries to make the jump to the NFL. This is somebody who is with the Chiefs, right? As a position coach, he was coaching
linebacker coach.
Yeah, he was coaching the linebackers there. He was also a coordinator at Kentucky, so it's not like he hadn't called plays before. But just reading between the lines and reading Mark Stoops' comments when he did leave Kentucky, it seems like Matt House's ultimate goal is to get to the NFL. So if the defense continues to, build on what they've done, that might be a concern for LSU going forward, if you consider that concern. Maybe a good problem to have. But like I said, Mike Denbrock kind of exceeded my expectations in his first season. LSU had a really good running game. The passing game, I thought, improved gradually throughout the season. I know they had some bad moments, in the Texas A&M game and otherwise. But again, given the personnel, I thought both coordinators did a really good job in their first season, Taylor. And I'm excited to see how they build on it here in 2023.
Dude, I thought they were great. I don't think it was, something to build upon. I thought Matt House was phenomenal at times. I mean, our offense was bad against Auburn and Arkansas, but what did the defense do? They shut them down time and time again and came up with turnovers always at the right time. It seemed like LSU, anytime they needed a big play, that defense made it. And as far as Denbrock goes, he started a little slow to the season, but again, how much of that was Jaden Daniels trying to get accustomed to playing in the SEC in a new conference on a new team? I mean, everybody's like, oh, he's a fourth-year player. It's like, yeah, but this is his first year at LSU. I mean, this is his first year meshing with those guys. So how much of that was Daniels getting adjusted than it was to Denbrock? But as far as end of the year goes, I thought Denbrock did a pretty good job. I'd probably give him a B-. There were some things here and there I think he could clean up. But, I mean, overall, yeah, he definitely exceeded my expectations. And Matt House blew me away. I thought he was one of the top 5 to 10 defensive coordinators in the country last year.
Agreed. Both coordinators back for LSU this season. That's huge. And offensively, like I said, Jaden Daniels is back. And his backup, Garrett Nussmeier, is waiting in the wings as well. That's somebody who I think is prepared to play, injury or otherwise. If he needs to step on the field, I think he's prepared to go out there and produce. But I think having Jaden Daniels back is huge, and I think you'll see the chemistry with his receivers really show itself a lot more this year. To your point there, Taylor, I thought, he had a really tough job coming in, not only learning a new offense, but trying to get Kayshon Boutte the ball, frankly. That was something that LSU really tried to do. It seemed like they were kind of force-feeding him at times, and obviously you want a dynamic player like that. It's not necessarily a good thing that he's gone, but maybe it does end up being a good thing in the end because you could spread the ball out more, and now you don't really have that problem like you did last year. And to that same point, I am really pumped to watch Malik Neighbors play football this season. And he got into a little trouble over the summer, but it wasn't anything major. I thought he handled himself great after that incident, and he really had some flashes of greatness last season, in my opinion. I mean, several plays that come to mind. The fade route against Mississippi State, LSU was down in that game. They needed to make a comeback late. You really saw the rapport kind of start there between Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors, in my opinion. He owned Eli Ricks in the Alabama game a couple of times. That was really fun to watch. That really made me respect Malik Neighbors. And then people forget the touchdown run on the reverse against Purdue because LSU was up by 1 million points. You were basically in garbage time at that point. But that was a really impressive play. Like, he really showed off his athleticism on that touchdown run. He's trying to build on a great sophomore season. This is a guy who didn't get in the end zone very much, Taylor. I was honestly surprised to see that he only had 3 touchdowns on the season, but 72 catches, 1,000 yards, average of 14.1 per reception. I think he's going to be better this year, and I think he could play himself into being a first-round pick. He kind of reminds me a lot of a Terrence Marshall, to be honest with you, but maybe a little bit bigger, or maybe a little bit faster on me, maybe a little bit more shifty than Terrace was. And I'm really excited to watch Malik this year.
Yeah, he's going to be good. And like you mentioned, he is now that guaranteed, that bona fide number 1 receiver. And I agree with you. The passing game probably will be better and, frankly, has to be better this year. I thought Daniels was good for the most part. Did think there was a little bit left to be desired. But like you mentioned, Butte's gone, and I don't want to crap on the dude, but it's one of those things where it's like addition by subtraction.
Yeah.
You're not trying to force feed one guy the ball. You're going to spread it around. During break, I mean, you were talking about who's going to be that number 2 guy. I mean, everybody assumes it's going to be Brian Thomas, but Kyron Lacey's no slouch either. It could just as easily be a guy like him or one of these freshmen like a Shelton Sampson or a Jaylen Brown. I mean, people don't realize how much talent LSU has in that receiver room right now. And if Daniels, Nussmeier, whoever's back there can get them the ball, then, yeah, good things are going to happen for the passing game.
It's insane. The depth at receiver the last few years has been absolutely insane. Like, you and I talk about being fans of Trey Palmer. He did some really good work in Nebraska. I think he's going to be good in the league as well. But how can you be mad at LSU in that situation, with the people that were in that room and that were on the team? So I think there's a lot of depth there. We'll see who is the breakout guy, who's like the 1,000-yard receiver, anything like that.
Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.